like to introduce, so the people that we have here today before we start is Paul Barber. Paul is, do we call you entrepreneur?
You can do if you want.
He's been through the woods, and he's got a successful business now. Jessica works at Tesco's, and she is a graduate program manager, and she works in Coney Hatch Barnet store as a customer service manager. So that's another example. I won't talk about myself. And then Mahesh is obviously, you know, he's a student here, but he has a part-time role in Tesco's, and he will be the fine example of where he could set his career path already being part-time in the business. So go ahead, Mahesh, talk about yourself, where you know what you've done in Tesco so far. Just a little brief opening, that's all. Nothing major.
In November, I basically applied for Tesco before, but I managed to get the job luckily, and then I got my interview, and it was for reductions to reduce products.
Wow.
Yeah, and then at first I was scared because I didn't know what to do and everything, but they put me on a 3-week training. I done my training and everything, and then I got used to it, and now it's easy. So now they're training me up on tills, so I can do overtime whenever I want. And yeah, that's it. So I'll be looking to do other things after.
Are you aware of the career path in Tesco, even though you're part-time?
Yeah.
So you're aware that there's an option scheme?
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
And the reason why you're being trained up as a GA, as a checkout person, because it's called multi-skills.
Yeah.
So that's giving you an avenue to be doing different parts of the role while you're there.
Yeah.
So you work in stock control, is that right?
Yeah,
stock control. So then you're going to do the checkout. So what he's doing there, he's already building his career and his experience as a part-time employee. So so well done, thank you.
Well done.
So the next speaker will be Paul, and
Me?
Paul, yeah, you can go next.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, please. The next speaker will be Paul Barber, and he'll tell you his career experience to date. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Well, I thought the best way to sort of do this is sort of just speak from the heart, not scripted, and just explain my experience, my background, my journey, and where I am now. Okay. So when I was young, my parents decided to go to Jamaica, and it didn't really work out in Jamaica for them, so they came back to England, and I stayed with my grandparents. And when I was very little, I couldn't. Obviously, it took a while to walk, and I was very slow to walk. And my grandmother said, "I know what I'll do. I'll try something to make him walk." So no one could get me to walk, and they thought it was never going to happen. And she held out $1 in front of me, and then suddenly I started walking. From that point, they realised that I liked money. So when I went to junior school, it was okay. I found it very difficult coming from overseas and adapting and fitting in with everyone else. When I went to secondary school, we went to Edmonton school, like Eldon juniors, and then we went to Salisbury's. And when I went to Salisbury, there was the upper school. You had a lower and upper school. Now the upper school was it was not that good in the sense of the kids were very rebellious, and the teachers were getting handcuffed and beaten up. It was quite extreme when I was at school. Yeah. So my mum said, "I don't really want you to be in that environment. I'm going to take you out of that school and put you into another school," because obviously they're looking long term. But while I was in school, I was thinking, at Salisbury, I said, well, how can I make some extra money? So not everyone liked school dinners, and they always used to go out to the chip shop, and I decided to sort of make sandwiches. So I bought some bread, I bought some corned beef, some salad, put it in the sandwiches, and we started selling sandwiches at school. So at that time, it was something new which not anyone was doing, and I thought, well, are people going to buy sandwiches from me? And they did, and it was okay. From there, we went to new schools. I went to Chase. It was an all-boys school, so obviously you guys are mixed. So I was deprived of women for quite a long time. And what happened was, I wasn't really that good at school, to be honest with you. I sort of did enough to get by. Obviously, I had the English and maths, and I know the importance of education, like you guys as well. And on my reports every term, it said could try hard, I could do better, a lot of potential, and I never really gave it a lot of effort, and I didn't really listen to the teachers, and it should have, but what it was a lot of peer pressure. You know, when you're at school and you've got your friends and they're sort of doing certain things, you feel under pressure to sort of fit in. And that's what I did. It's just quite normal as a child to just try and fit in, where when I was younger, I had an accident, someone threw a bat at someone, he missed them, and it hit me straight in my face, the table tennis bat. And at that time, you couldn't get like a white cap for your tooth. So I had to have a silver one, and everyone used to take the mick out of me. They used to call me Jaws, because you know Jaws from the James Bond film? He had like all the silver teeth when he opened his mouth and smiled. So people used to take the mick out of me, ridicule me. So I was under a lot of pressure, and because they sort of used to take the mick out of me, I kind of, to rebel against it, I used to sort of take the mick out of them. And I used to get picked on as well at school. You know, there was a young guy, he always used to pick on me, he used to fight me, and one day I just said, enough is enough, and then I sort of took control of the situation. And since then, he realised that he couldn't pick on me, and we became the best of friends ever since. So some people try and sort of test the barriers of where they can go with you. And that's what happens in life as well. Some people test you to see how far they can push you. But at the end of the day, it kind of made me a stronger person, okay? So when I decided to leave school, I used to do a subject called, I don't know if they do it now, it's a BTEC National Diploma. TVEI, it was called when I was at school, where they do that now at all. Technical Vocation and Educational Initiative. So it kind of gave me one of the subjects that you studied was computing, and I liked doing computing. So there was a teacher there called Mrs. Hendricks, and she gave me a hard time. No matter what I did, she was always putting pressure on me. And then when I finally did my exams, I thought, you know what, I'm going to fail this subject. And she gave me a report, and she said the nicest things that a teacher could say. And that report sort of stayed in my mind for a long time, and it kind of made me more positive. Because you imagine at school, people around you saying that you can't do this, you can't do that. And then when she did her report, she put a lot of positive things in that report, and I thought, you know what, I sort of misunderstood this woman. I always thought that she was a negative person, but she was just trying to push me to the maximum so I could achieve my goals. And when she planted that seed by putting some positive stuff on my report, my mind changed, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out there and do what I can. It just so happens that the first job I actually did was work for Tesco's in Edmonton Green. And you weren't allowed to wear white socks at the time, and I would turn up to work in white socks, and what they do, they would send you home, or you had to buy coloured socks from the clothes department within Tesco's. And that's that. I was still a little bit of a rebel even then working for Tesco, but the job I went for was a cashier, because I thought to myself, I can do any job in Tesco's, and what job is going to be recognised by another employer? What do employers want to look at? And I thought, you know what, they want to trust someone with money, because that's probably an issue for them, is trusting people. So I thought, you know, if I'm handling money at Tesco's, obviously there's an element of trust there, so that's what I did. So I was working on the tills, scanning, taking people's money, and it just so happens there were people actually taking money from the tills actually, because when I was there were people nicking, and they used to get caught, and they obviously lose their jobs. So from Tesco's I decided to go to a full-time job. So the first full-time job I went to was in electrical distributors in Tottenham, called British Distribution Company, the largest independent electrical distributor in the country. So I wanted to work in IT. The job that they had was in the distribution department, because there's a transport and logistics department, and they had an admin role there. So I thought to myself, you know what, it's not the job that I really want, but once I've got in the company, I'll do anything. So once I'm there, I'll then look around and see if I can get promoted and get the ideal job for me. I was there for about 3 months, and then I went to the main building and I had to look at the IT department. I thought, oh, this looks nice. And I did some research, and I found out who the IT director was, and he was actually a Jamaican guy. And obviously, because my parents are Jamaican, we had some sort of connection, and we started talking. I said, okay, I really wanted a job here in the computer room. The personnel said that there wasn't any jobs. And he said, I don't think when you applied there was any jobs, but since then there have been a couple of jobs, because I've seen people come and go, and I wasn't offered any jobs. Because personnel, when I spoke to them, I said, look, I'll take this job, but if anything else comes up within the IT department, that's what I really wanted to do. So eventually, a position came up, and they asked me if I wanted to join the IT department. So within 6 months, I moved from doing admin to the job that I really, really wanted to do. So it just shows that when you go into a company, don't worry about where you start, it's where you finish. Now, the relationship I built with the IT director was a good one, because I thought, you know what, while I'm here, I want to make some extra money on the side as well. So I wanted to buy and sell cars, because friends of mine were doing that kind of thing, and they were making a lot of money from buying and selling cars. So he said to me, look, Paul, I'll invest some money in you. You go out to the auctions, buy a car, sell it, and we'll split the profit 50-50. So it kind of made me more motivated to sort of go there and do my own thing. So we started buying and selling cars. I was made redundant about 4 years after, so it didn't last too long, but I wasn't worried about it. But when I was made redundant, what I had to do was literally get my CV together, and I just sent it to loads of agencies. I wasn't really getting anywhere. There was a company in Ponders End called Sidewinder. I went there and I gave them my CV. They said they'll get back to me. They never got back to me, and I just phoned up. I said, oh, I phoned up about a job. I said, oh, we're still going through the CVs. Nothing. I went down there and I said, look, I've sent my CV, I phoned, what's going on? I do want a job, I want to work for you guys, give me a try. They said, look, we like the fact that you're enthusiastic. So they offered me a job straight away. They put me in a little, less than a litre van that I used to drive around the whole country selling computers, fax machines on industrial estates. That didn't last too long, and then I went to a recruitment company, gave them my CV, and they said, actually, look, we think that you could work here. So I started doing recruitment in Wood Green, a company called Plan Personnel. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're quite a big firm. So I was there for about a year, and the early starts didn't really suit me. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning I had to sort of be at work, because they were doing catering staff for the schools and colleges. So the cooks and the cleaners had to be there early. I had to make sure that all my staff were there on time. I decided to venture into a different field, which was care work, which was higher margins, and I managed to place some social workers. Instead of them getting like £2 or £3 margin an hour, I was achieving like £7 or £8. But I got that set up, made a lot of money, and then they wanted to set up a separate care division. They decided to do it without me. I've got 2 minutes left, I've been told, so I can't say long. So I decided to move out of there, and then I went to work for Thompson's, and that didn't work out either. But I have to summarise as quick as possible. So what I did afterwards, I decided to work for a bank. I worked for a Nigerian bank for about 4 years, left there, and then I also went to a telecoms company. Now the telecoms company is where a lot of my main business really started from, because when I worked there, an opportunity came up where there was a company called MCI Welcome. They've gone into liquidation now, but they're a massive global telco. Now, when I started working there, the company I was working for used to supply the maintenance, and they couldn't supply the equipment that the client wanted. And the client said to me, Paul, look, the company you're working for can't supply this equipment. Can you supply it? So I set up a company, supplied them what they wanted, and then within about 3 months, I was turning over about £500,000. So you can imagine, from me working for someone else, building a relationship, they've said to me, look, Paul, can you set up your own business? I managed to turn over companies turn over £500,000 within a few months' time. So whatever you guys think or perceive your goals and achievements are, you might not be able to reach them, anything is possible. From there, I decided to do finance, and I set up my own finance business, and we had about 6 or 7 staff working for us. During the credit crunch, it was quite difficult, and now we're doing really, really well. We sort of, from the credit crunch, our turnover is about 5 times what it was just before, and we're doing extremely well. I've got my own property portfolio. I used to live at home with my mum in a box room, and I bought 2 properties while I was at home. And everyone used to take the mick out of me. You're still at home at 29 in a box room, but they didn't realise that some of them that I had 2 properties in the background. And what I did was I refinanced the 2 properties, and then I bought my own place. So at the age of like 30, 31, I had a 3-bedroom flat in Enfield, and now I've got a portfolio of about sort of 15 properties, and they're all generating income. So at the moment, it's quite hard for you guys to get on the property ladder, but you've just got to see what you guys enjoy and make sure you go for it. You know, I mean, nothing is not achieved. You can achieve anything that you want in life. Yeah? Don't think that you can be held back or there's any limitations. Just go for it. So when this opportunity came with Tesco's and Marks, he said, come down and speak to you guys. I just wanted you guys to know that no matter what life presents you with, you think positive. and you better be careful what you ask for, because you're going to ask for certain things in life, and if you focus on it, you will get it.